Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be baking one of my all-time favourite treats, which is a macaron. So I've just been completely obsessed with macaron ever since I had my first one. I think they're so delicious and also just so beautiful as well. And they're super versatile, so you can really put anything you like in a macaron and it will taste amazing. So yeah, it did take me a good 5 or 6 attempts of baking macaron until I really cracked it. So I'm going to be sharing the recipe with you today, which is my kind of go-to standard recipe. So hopefully it works well for you too. I did have one of my friends message me last week and she sent me in a picture of her first attempt of macaron using my recipe, and they looked absolutely stunning. It honestly looked like she just popped to Pierre Hermé and brought 6 macaron and took a picture of them. So hopefully this works as well for you as it does for me, and don't forget to comment below or tag me in any pictures if you do make them. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and yeah, let's get baking. So the first step to making your macaron is to sieve together your ground almonds with your icing sugar. But what I like to do first is to pop mine in a food processor, or in my case a NutriBullet, and whiz them together to really grind the powders. So when you pipe your macarons later, you'll have a nice smooth finish rather than kind of little gritty textures. So yeah, I would avoid skipping this step if you can. If you don't have a food processor, I would maybe sieve it through twice and make sure you discard any little bits of ground almond or anything you have. So once you've ground your icing sugar with your ground almonds, you just pop it into a sieve over a bowl and sieve that in to discard any final lumps that may remain. So I've just put my ground almonds and icing sugar to one side, and next what we're going to do is whisk the egg whites. So I've got my 100 grams of egg whites, which have been sat on my counter for about an hour to get to room temperature. So I'm going to pop them into a clean glass bowl and we're going to whisk them. So the first stage is to whisk them until they go slightly frothy. Then we're going to add a pinch of cream of tartar and then whisk them until they've got soft peaks. And then we're going to put in our sugar in 3 installments until we've got really stiff peaks. So you should now have your stiff egg whites and your almond mixture, and what we're going to do is we're going to combine them. So this stage is called the macaronage, and it's probably the most crucial point in making macarons. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop a third of the almond mixture into the egg whites and kind of work that together until you get a nice smooth consistency, and then we're going to pop the remaining 2/3 in and fold really gently with a spatula until you get a kind of honey-like consistency. So that only takes a couple of minutes, and I'll show you a close-up of mine once I get to that stage so you kind of know what to replicate. So yeah, let's get started. It should kind of look like this consistency, and a really good way of testing is to kind of, if you can draw a figure of 8 into your macaron mix, then that's the kind of thick but smooth consistency we're after. So now we're happy with the consistency of the macaron mix. We're gonna pop it in a piping bag and pipe it onto our tray. But what I'm going to do first is take my piping bag with my round nozzle, and what I like to do is I like to balance it into a cup so it's really easy to pour the macaron mix into. But what I'm going to do first is take a pastry brush and my pink food gel and brush the inside of the piping bag so that once I pipe it has kind of a marbled effect on it. So I've now got my piping bag I'm going to grab my tray. So what I tend to use is this macaron mat. So I pipe on this, and it just means they're all equal in size, because what I used to do was kind of stencil circles on, which just took ages. So I just ordered one of these off Amazon. So I'm going to pipe straight onto this. If you don't have one of these, I would suggest like a silicone mat, or just baking parchment works fine too. So what I do now is I take my tray and just tap it on the work surface a few times. So now we're going to leave them on the side for half an hour, and what we hope for is for them to develop kind of like a hard crust. So we want them to kind of stop having a shiny shell top and go a little bit matte in colour. So we'll just leave them for half an hour, and in the meantime I'm going to pop the oven on to start warming. So my macarons have been resting for 30 minutes and they've kind of lost that glossy shine to the top of them, and I've gone slightly matte. So I'm going to pop them into the oven at 160 for about 12 to 14 minutes. And what we're looking for is the macarons to rise so they get those little feet on the bottom of them. So I'm going to pop these in and then I'll show you them as soon as they come out. So I've just taken my macaron out of the oven and they look really, really pretty. The marble looks really nice, so I'm really happy with them. So I'm just going to leave them to cool for a few minutes and then I'll peel them off the mat and then pair them together, ready to sandwich them up. So what I've done in the meantime is beat together some butter and some icing sugar. I'm going to add some peanut butter to that to make it a peanut butter buttercream, and then I've also got some jam to make them a peanut butter and jelly flavoured macaron. Obviously you can pop in chocolate or fruit or just keep it as vanilla, or kind of do whatever you want to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to do that now whilst these cool, and then we'll get to filling them. So I've just finished making my peanut butter buttercream, which looks amazing. And I've also let my shells cool and then also paired them up, ready to be sandwiched together. So I'm going to place my buttercream into my piping bag and then pipe a blob to cover 3/4 of the inside of a shell. And then I'm going to place a tiny bit of raspberry jam on top of that and then sandwich them together to make a macaron. Our completed macaron. They're so beautiful and they look so delicious. So I'll take a bite and show you what they look like inside. They're so good. I would also definitely recommend the peanut butter and jam combination because they are just amazing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have, and don't forget to tag me in any of your pictures if you do attempt my macarons. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed and see you next time.